Welcome back to the next episode of the Brits Don't Jump podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Doyle, and today we have a nice special surprise for you, especially for the Newcastle Eagles fans, and I'm sure Super League Basketball will know my next guest. He's an ex-Newcastle Eagles player, an SLB Cup winner, and he has just left us in the lurch and jetted off to Poland for the next season to take his talents. It is Magic Mike Okauru. How you doing, mate? How are you getting on?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's 25 degrees outside, so my choice of top is questionable. It's very thick, but we'll see how we get on with this. Before we start, mate, before we get on to your basketball journey and that, which we'll get into, I've got I don't know if you've heard of the Newcastle Eagles All-In fan group.
Yeah, I did. I think around the time I signed, I started seeing some stuff. They made a video for me.
Yeah, so I was going to mention that. Yeah.
I'm glad they started that. So I've definitely been seeing some of the things they've been doing.
Well, the guy who runs it, Richard, I was letting him know who I was going to be talking to today. No one knows, but I had to he's been really good to us, so I let him know, and he made sure to tell us that Richard and his daughter Arla, who you sent a birthday message to, if you remember her, they're just wishing you all the best for the season, and they were just asking how you were getting on, so I had to get that in there and let them know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate them. His daughter is at every game, came to away game, showed us a lot of support, and I'm very appreciative of them. And just all Eagles fans. So
I was going to ask you that. It's kind of like, I don't know how it was in, for instance, the Czech Republic and France for you. But it feels like, especially when I go to basketball games, it feels like more community. It feels like a more of a fan, it's like a good community together. Whereas in America, obviously, it's not quite a community. It's like fans who go to the games and watch it. How were you surprised when you came to England and you seen how good the fans were with the players?
I mean, at first, when Coach Studel, when he was, telling me about the fans, I didn't believe it at first. He told me they were the best fans in the league. They were really supportive. I didn't honestly believe it until I got there, and I just see the love from day one. It's something I've never seen before. It kind of reminds me of my high school days. People who are really interested in basketball, really love the game, really support you. So, I mean, it was a great experience. I loved it.
How did you find Newcastle fans, as in how friendly they were? Was that how shocked you were about them? Because, I mean, I've been up and down England, and I'm not saying that Southerners are nasty. That's not what I'm getting at. But I'm saying, when you come to Newcastle, they will talk. If there was a donkey on the street, they'd go out and they'd talk to the donkey. Do you know what I mean? How did you find, how easy was it to talk to them?
Man, it was great. It reminded me of home. I'm from North Carolina. That's the South. So, how you have that Southern hospitality, people, saying hey to you, speaking to you. So, just with the fans, it kind of reminded me of that. So, I was just happy I was able to come to a place where, I kind of feel that same love I feel at home. So, yeah, the Newcastle fans, great people.
I don't know what you thought about the city as well. I am biased, but I think it's one of the most beautiful cities. If you walk down, say, for instance, the quayside or just around the city centre, I don't know what you think of it, but I think it's a beautiful city.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful city. Compared to every other place I've been to, I think I put it up there, up there, number one, the best places I've been to as far as playing wise.
No wonder the fans loved you so much, Mike. You're such a sweet talker, aren't you? That's it. Well, we'll get on to the basketball side of things now. So obviously, like I mentioned pre-podcast when we were chatting a little bit, I mentioned how in England it's football or soccer or pretty much nothing for a lot of people. I know things are changing now. People become more open-minded with sports. For you, how was the journey into basketball? How did you pick that over, for instance, let's say, because the NFL's starting in a few weeks, how did you pick that over American football or maybe baseball or something like that?
See, it's crazy you say that. American football, that was my first sport. That's what my mom put me in first, and I really loved that more than basketball. And honestly, I think it's when I just started growing, because I was playing in the fall. I would play American football, and then we'll have the winter. I'll go play basketball. But I think as I started growing, I was I'm getting a little too tall. Let me just, stick to basketball. And I was pretty good at a young age. And then, I just fell in love with it. I started playing City League at maybe 5, 6 years old. And then I went up to AAU when I was 10 years old. And then, my journey just kept going from there.
So what position in that would you play in American football? Were you on the defensive side of things? Were you on the offensive? Yeah.
I was a running back. I was a running back.
Running back. I was
So
going to say that a wide
yeah,
receiver, to be fair. I didn't know if that would get you. We'll
yeah,
see how fast you are.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't as tall back then, but yeah, I was a running back. I was faster than everybody. I could juke everybody. Doing my thing. So yeah, that was my thing. I was playing football. I really, really loved football before basketball.
So North Carolina, who would your team be?
See, I'm not a football fan. I go with the players. So like my favorite like football player of all time is LaDainian Tomlinson. He was a running back. He played with the San Diego Chargers, now Los Angeles, and then he played with the New York Jets as well. So but if you were to say like my team, I guess you could say the Carolina Panthers. But I mean, yeah,
We can pretend they don't exist if you want. It's not a great time for them, is
right,
it?
right, exactly.
Well, I'm an Eagles fan, Philadelphia Eagles. So
Okay.
I got stuck with, obviously I'm a 76ers fan as well. And I got
Oh,
stuck with them because when I first started watching basketball, I kind of watched it for, say, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. And I followed them, then I
yeah.
realized I needed a team. So I started watching the
Mm,
show Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And it kind of
okay.
felt like, I don't know what you think, but Philadelphia fans and Newcastle fans, the emotion,
Hey, I
the,
mean,
the
yeah,
way they
most,
go on,
yep.
maybe it's a good comparison. So that's kind of where I fell into that. So luckily
Okay.
enough, I fell into the Eagles as well, and God, they didn't have a bad year last year, did they?
For sure, for sure.
Well, you mentioned high school before and how it's pretty similar to the Newcastle crowds, and obviously you had a great time in high school. How was that transition from high school to the college game? Because I've got here you arrived at the Florida Gators at first, and statistically it wasn't a massive showing from you. I don't know how you
Yeah.
felt about your time at Florida.
Yeah, so from high school, so I went to two high schools. My first 3 years, I was at Ravenscroft School, that's in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then I transferred to Brewster Academy in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. It's like a basketball school. Like one of the like a bunch of NBA players has come like Donovan Mitchell, Devontae Graham. A lot of guys have come from there. So I had a great year there. And then I had like a lot of offers. I ended up choosing University of Florida. Probably at the time, maybe not the right choice for me at the time. But definitely enjoyed the experience, and I'll just say, I mean, it just didn't work out for me there. So that's why I ended up transferring to University of North Carolina, Wilmington.
So I guess, because I know people say it's always about the journey and how you get there. So would you say that Florida Gators time is crucial in your development? It might not look like on it on paper, but would you say
Yeah,
for the player you are now that helped you develop?
yeah, for sure. Going there was like it was a humbling, I would say, experience for me. Just because obviously I'm not used to not playing a lot. Like I'm used to, just playing, being one of the best guys out there. And when I was there, I just, I had to like really evaluate, my game, evaluate myself as a person, and I think that kind of like molded me to who I am today. I was a young 17, 18-year-old kid then. Now I'm 26, so like, from there to now, it definitely molded me to who I am.
Yeah, well, I think them couple of years as well, like, humbling's sometimes a good thing, because obviously you were probably used to being one of your best in your class all the time, and then going in,
Yeah,
because Florida's obviously a big university, isn't it? So I bet at the time you
for
were like, I'm
sure.
going to go in there, I'm going to tear it up. So maybe that, like you say, it's probably the best thing for, like, molding you into the person you are. And especially when
Yeah,
you look at your stats at Wilmington, 2 of the 3 years, averaging 14 and 13 points per game. What
yeah.
changed there for you? Was it the mindset? Was it the work rate? Or was it the coaching that kind of helped bring you on?
I think it was everything. Everything came together. I think I was working a lot harder. I had a coach that really believed in what I was doing. Definitely, my mindset definitely changed. I think I stopped like blaming others and really, put focus on what I could do better to be a better person, a better basketball player, and that's what it was. As I'm getting older, I'm learning these things as I go. I think just that time period it definitely helped me.
For you as well, when you were playing in college, was there any players you looked towards who were in the same draft class as you? Did you see anybody who maybe you wanted to not mould your game after, but you're seeing how good they were at something and you attacked that area to get better at it? Or did you just kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, I kind of did my own thing. I wouldn't necessarily say guys in my class, probably guys that's probably already like in the NBA that I probably try to mold my game after. Like one of my favorite players, like ever, is like Derrick Rose and his floater. That's something like I really always wanted to have, like just the 2 foot floater, just looking one way and then just jumping real quick and putting up a floater. So little things like that. But I wouldn't necessarily say anybody in my specific draft class I molded my game after.
So when you became draft eligible, that was 22 and 23 season. I
Yeah.
couldn't actually find anything online about this, so it said you went undrafted and you were an unrestricted free agent. Did you actually declare for the NBA draft, or
I
did you
mean,
kind of go on?
yeah. So it was after my 5th year, so I ran out of eligibility. So you're automatically thrown into the draft. I had like a couple workouts with some NBA teams, and I just didn't go drafted. So I knew I would have to take the route of going overseas. So, and that's what I did.
So again, how daunting is that process, knowing you're going to have to? Because obviously you're used to America, and kind of we're seeing in the Olympics, America that you perceived the basketball, and for good reason, as your sport. So what was the mindset moving over to Europe? And obviously there's a culture change, the standards totally different. What were you thinking at that time?
Well, I could tell you this: never in a million years did I think I would be playing ball overseas. But when I knew I had to do that, I was just like, it's you got to make sacrifices in life. I mean, I love playing basketball. I know, like, if you're not in the NBA, there are other places you could go play basketball at a high level as well. So, you know, uh, once I figured that out, I was like, you know what, let's take this challenge. And I did it. I went to the Czech Republic first, which was different, a very different culture shock for me. The language barrier was tough, the cold weather, uh, just everything you could think of coming from somebody who's from America. So, it was definitely a tough change, but I feel like I'm built for anything. Whatever challenge there is, I feel like I could go out there and take it.
Yeah, so you're seeing how like the culture was different and the language barrier was tough. Like I wouldn't even move down the country for university a few years ago. Like that's how worried I was. Was there a point where you got homesick and it affected your performances? Was there a period where you were struggling a bit, or did you kind of just go, you know what, this is what it is. I'm going to make it, so we're going to make this work.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think my first like 3 weeks, I was calling back home. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I could do this. It's kind of it's different, way different than I expected. And then just having talks with my mom and my family, and like I knew that would be expected. Me having those thoughts, going in. So I had my family there just to pick me up and tell me like if this is what you want, you got to do it. You got to be able to do it. So I stuck through, and now I'm okay with. I'm able to go wherever.
So, well, you managed it all right. 18.4 points per game. You seem like you settled well. Did you actually learn anything new about your game while you were over there, or did you maybe pick something up from that culture that helped you adapt and maybe grow to another level?
Um, I would say maybe like some of like the terminology. I guess I learned. The coach I played for, he's now the EuroLeague coach for Paris. So I think some of his terminology, I guess I learned that just now. Like you go play with different coaches in different countries, like you kind of hear the same thing. So I think little things like that, and then maybe like the physicality. Obviously playing against grown men, people who have families, and obviously it's an adjustment. So I think throughout that time I was able to adjust to that.
Would you have said the standard's better than, like, you would assume so because it's a professional league, but was the standard better than the NCAA for you? Or did you kind of think it was more different than a better standard?
What do you mean by stand? Like, what do you mean?
So standard as in the level of play, like the level of performances
Oh,
you were
okay.
coming up against. Would you say that that was better in a professional league in the Czech Republic, or was the NCAA, did that have like a higher level of performance?
See, I feel like when you're comparing the two, like with NCAA, like it's more like systematic. I would say like coaches, like they have you're going to play this way and this way only. I feel professionally, it's more, I guess, player based. The coaches, at least coaches I played for so far, they kind of build their team based on the players they have. And as far as I kind of feel it's the same. Maybe the professionally in Czech it was a little bit better than NCAA. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then you moved over in your second year. You moved over to France, which again, another culture change. And can I be honest with
Yeah.
you? And if for some reason there's French people listening, I'm not a big fan of the French. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't think they're a big fan of me. Whenever I remember going over there with my Australian uncle, and obviously it's about April time. They're all still in the winter coats, and they're like, it's quite chilly in like Paris we went to, quite chilly.
Yeah.
And we went over. And we had our maps out, we were tourists, we were going about looking, and the looks we got, honestly, I thought they were going to shoot us. Like, they weren't the most welcoming, so I don't know how you found that when you went to France for the first time. Did you enjoy your time there, or?
Yeah, France was cool. It was cool, I would say. Obviously the season didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. Had a lot of ups and downs, dealt with a lot of injuries there. Honestly, I felt like as a player, I was put into a box. Like I wasn't able to be like who I am as a basketball player. And I ended up getting cut. A couple months in, I ended up getting cut. So it was like my first time like being cut from anything. So it was definitely challenging for me. It really made me like reevaluate like, yo, you still a good basketball player. Can you do this? So, but I'm glad I experienced it though, for sure. I'm glad I experienced it. And but overall, France, I would say it was cool. It was a learning, portion of my career for me.
Well, I was good at. My next question was going to be obviously with the injuries, mentally, how was that for you after having a good first year? But I guess you kind of answered that. But when you say they put you in a box, is that like you were kept away from your teammates and you couldn't find a way to socialise? And because obviously you're a young player, you're trying to adapt to the culture, and if you can't do your job, that makes it 100 times harder for you, doesn't it? So was there nothing in place for you to help adjust to the culture before you got cut?
I think it was more like basketball wise, like on the court, not necessarily like with the teammates. I think all my teammates, we were cool, we were all good. It was just more of like, I think the coach like wanted me like to sit in the corner and like just shoot threes, and that's just not my game. Like I feel I'm able to do more, and it was like we're butting heads doing that, so it just didn't work out.
So is that the reason behind you getting cut? Do you think you and the coach just
Yeah,
weren't clicking?
for sure. Yeah, I mean definitely. At least that's the way. Yeah.
Well, look, at the end of the day, was next question when we're moving on to it. It's Newcastle's game that you got. I know it's not great for you at the time, but then that's when I was speaking to Louis on a podcast a couple of episodes ago, and he mentioned, because I said, now Mike's gone, how do you adjust to that? Because he's having such a talented player and fitting such well in Coach Stutel's system. How do you replace that? And he kind of gave the point like the fact you came from France and you were a good prospect before you got there. This is kind of like a once in a lifetime signing for Newcastle with the talent. So did you see that as a downward step when you came to Newcastle? Because obviously the league here, it isn't perceived as a great league. Did you see not a downward step, but it wasn't going to elevate your career instantly?
No, I didn't look at it that way. I just looked at it as an opportunity. Like I told Mark, or even as I told the fans at the end of the season when we had our banquet, I told them, Mark and Paul, like they took a chance on me because they honestly didn't have to, come and sign me. So I definitely didn't look at it as like a downgrade. I think it was a perfect fit, perfect timing. I think it was the place I needed to be. So that's how I look at it.
So how did them conversations go? Obviously, they mentioned the fan base, but what did they say? Was it you convincing them, if you're saying they took a chance on you, or was it one of them where they kind of knew the way you played and the way you would fit into a good transition offense? Like, did they have to convince you, or did it just click like that?
Yeah, it was more on Mark. Like I think he obviously saw some, my film from France, but it was mostly my film from Czech Republic from my first year, and he really liked my game from that. And it was really more of him convincing me. But honestly, like it wasn't really much convincing. I felt like it was just the right place I needed to be.
So again, we'll move on to the city and the people. Like your first impressions when you land, you get here. What was that like for you when you moved into the city?
I mean, people were nice. They were friendly. Walk down the street, they smile at you. That's what I'm used to. Like back home in North Carolina, people see you smile, wave, or just kind of reminded me of home. Just people just being nice.
Yeah, how did you find yourself spending your spare time? Because obviously in Newcastle, this is, I mean, I'm 2 years sober, so I don't drink anymore. But for obvious reasons, when you come round here, what did you do in your spare time round here? Did you ever get yourself out for a couple of beers? Did you maybe taste the nightlife every now and again?
Yeah, we with my team, we definitely would go out from time to time, go to the clubs here and there.
What club? If you, I bet. Let us guess your club. You would go to Cozy Joe's on a Friday night singing One
Nah,
Direction. Is that what? Is
nah,
that what we're hearing
nah,
here?
nah. We were at Jalou. We go to Jalou.
All right.
Yeah, we go there. But I mean, I would chill a lot. Watch movies. They got the movie theaters around. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't like do too much, but I mean, if I did get out, we'll have a good time.
Did you manage to get yourself to a football game?
Yeah, for sure. I think my first week we went to I forgot who they played, but the fans were crazy. Like
Oh,
they was having a great time. It was just a great experience.
well, I'm a Sunderland fan in football, so obviously I'm on the other side, and it gets tense. And I don't know how much you know about that rivalry between Sunderland and Newcastle. But if you get chance this year, because we're back in the Premier League, if you get chance on television to watch it, please watch that game. The atmosphere, like you think the Newcastle, because no matter what you say about Newcastle fans, they will make a noise. Like that is one thing. So when Sunderland and Newcastle come together, the
Yeah,
rivalry, it is. I would. Do you know what it is? If you could come back and get a ticket for that game, I would advise it. It'll be absolutely unbelievable for you.
yeah.
So, like I said, the standard it isn't up to everybody with the Super League basketball. When you came in, how do you judge a league when you come in? As a player, do you want to come in and be the best player in the league? Or are you happy just to come in and fit into a team system and just help the team thrive?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm not My biggest thing is I want to win. I want to win championships, and then secondly, like I want to show people I'm the best. So yeah, that's usually my focus. First, it's always the team, and then second, like whatever I could do to show to show I'm the best, I do. So
So, when you came in, like Coach Tootle, did he make sure you were going to be the main man, or did he fit you into that system?
I think he fit me in. Honestly, I don't know if you guys remember, like to start the season, like I was coming off the bench. I think like the first 8, 9 games, I think, to start the
Is that how
season.
long it
So
was? Yeah, I remember the first
yeah,
couple of games. I didn't realise it was that long.
yeah, it was like 7 or 8 games I was coming off the bench, and I think I had to prove to him and my teammates that I could do more, and that's what I did. Like I'm okay with proving myself.
So I'd love to hear this from one of his players because there's some people around the league don't think he's a great, and I don't know why. They don't know how good of a coach he is. They kind of question his credentials. So as you as a player, you've experienced France, Czech Republic. You've had college coaches, high school coaches, all very experienced in basketball. For you, how
Mhm.
is Coach Stuttle as a tactical coach and a man manager?
Man, I think he's a great coach personally. I think he's very detailed in what he wants. He knows the game. Like if you just sit down and just speak to him, like he really knows the game. Like he knows what he wants. He knows what he's looking at, and then you could like balance ideas off of him. Work together. So he's a player's coach for sure. Um, I don't know why people would question like his credentials. I mean, I feel he's a great coach. So I mean,
Yeah, what expectations did he set for you at the start of the year? Because in my eyes, I think you exceeded, in everybody's eyes should be. And this is why I don't understand why people question him. It seemed like you kind of exceeded all expectations. Would that be fair to say? Or was the expectation to go out and just achieve what you could achieve?
see for me, like coming into it, um, my whole thing was trying to show that I could play at a high level. And based off of the season I had prior, like before, I wanted to show like I'm capable of being a great player. So as far as expectations, yeah, for myself personally, I definitely feel like I was able to show, I'm a good basketball player. Um, as far as coach, like his expectations for me, I think he just wanted me to just go out there and be Mike, do what I do, and I think I did that at a high level. So
I mean, that must be a great feeling as a player, just going out and being able, because I know systems are big in basketball. I know matchups, especially now, like especially the NBA. It seems like people talk about matchups a lot. So it must be nice for a coach to trust you to go out and do what you know you can do on a nightly basis.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, like I always tell Mark all the time, like you really like helped change my life. Like I'm forever grateful for him. Him giving me that chance, the opportunity to be myself, gain that confidence back on. And I'm always thankful for him. So yeah, like it's definitely great to have a coach like that.
Well, I mean, you paid him back in 1,000 times because MVP performance in the SLB Cup final, a trophy you won, 19 points. You and Seneca Knight went. I remember watching it online, and you two, it seemed like you couldn't miss, and everything you were missing, the next one would hit. It was unbelievable to watch. As a teammate, how good was Seneca Knight? Because that's another player that's left the Eagles. And it seemed like he came off the bench a bit towards the end of the season. Just how good was he as a teammate?
Yeah, he was a great player for us. He played at a high level, great scorer. There's a lot of games he carried us. Like he was the offense. Some games where I wasn't playing too well, he picked up the load. He did his thing, and he was a great guy to play with. I feel the team. I think everybody could attest to that. The whole team would tell you that. So I think he played a great role.
What was as well? I think Trey Pulliam joined. I can't remember exactly. It was halfway through the season. How was he as a player? Because it seemed like he was great on the ball, and it kind of brought out more in the team having him in there. But it kind of also seemed like, and I might please tell us if I'm wrong here because I'm no expert. I just kind of call what I see. It seemed like at times it wasn't as much transition. It seemed like there was more ISO there, where he would get a player one-on-one and look to take to the basket. Was there any change in direction by the coach when he came in, or was it much of the same?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when he came in, like he definitely changed how things went for us. He was a true point guard. I think when he came, he kind of like got the team in order. Like we were able to play. I guess play more together. Like I always tell him, like I wish he was there from the beginning. I feel like we would have won more games. We probably would have won some more championships just, if he was there from the start, so we'll be able to build that chemistry. So he was a great player for us. Like I told, even like during the season, I was telling him like he's the best point guard in the league, in my opinion. So he was big. Like just having him on the team was great for us. So.
What was it like watching him in the... We'll get to the playoff final in a second, but it seemed like every time he's played the Leicester Riders, him and Jalen Hunter, it seemed like they would just... Was it a thing he made of it? Because it seemed like them two would not clash, but, Jalen Hunter would score, then Trey would be like, nah, other end, I'm going to score. Was that like a big thing in the dressing room? Did anybody mention that? Because it seemed very end-to-end.
I'll probably make a little jokes at him just to get him going. I might say something slick like, hey, do it on the other team, So I know it'll get him going. But Trey's just a competitor. Like he wants to show everybody he's the best. And if you don't have players like that, I don't think you could be successful. So I think him just being the competitor he is, that's just who he is. So.
Well, we're seeing all the way through, especially when Trey came in, you were more competitive, but obviously injuries kind of took hold of the season. We're seeing you were without a real centre, like anyone who could rebound the ball for long periods at the end of the season. How much do you think that is attributed to kind of your own success? Because it seemed like such a long, grueling season, but I guess that's because you went so deep in every competition. Do you think that played a part in how that season ended?
For sure. I feel if Malcolm never got hurt, if I never got hurt, because me and Malcolm, we both got hurt in the same game where he ruptured his quad or something. It was against Bristol, and that was the game I sprained my ankle. So I feel if we never got hurt and we was able to stay like the way we were playing, I think we would have won the championship. I feel we would have won the EMBL final. It would have been a little different, but things happen for a reason, and you just have to deal with it and keep it going.
How do you deal with the playoff final and the ENBL final? How do you deal with that? Because, like I said, it was such a grueling season. You have worked so hard. You have played so well. You have got to the final. How does it feel as a player to lose two finals? Is it negative at first, and then maybe you can spin it into a positive where you learn how to grow? Like, how do you personally react to that?
For me, like I just hate losing, so there's no like flipping it to a positive for me because I just hate losing so much. Like it's just been like that since a kid. Like so, yeah, it's a great feat to make those finals, but I mean we didn't win, so it is what it is. So yeah.
What was that? What was the ENBL experience like for you? 'Cause I was watching online, and obviously, I've watched British basketball for years, but the European side, I'm not like I've never really indulged in it. So having Newcastle in that competition was a bit of an eye opener for us. And it got to that ENBL final, and obviously you're used to high school crowds and college crowds. What was it like to see the lack of attendance there? Did that underwhelm you at all? Did it affect your motivation, or do you blank out the crowd and you just do what you've got to do on the court?
Yeah, I mean, at first, like when you walk in, you're like, "Dang, I wish it was packed." But yeah, as a basketball player, you kind of just block that out and you just play. But I was happy to see a bunch of Eagles fans who made the trip, out there supporting us. So that was big. But as far as like lack of attendance, I mean, just as a basketball player, you got to tune that out and just play basketball and try and win.
Yeah, the crowd as well. There's always, I don't know them personally, but I think there's always a man and a woman there with a flag. And they must go to every away game. Like, I don't know if you know who they
Yeah,
are, but it seems like there's a
yeah,
certain section of that support.
Yeah, Les. He's the one that's always with the flag. I forgot the lady's name, but yeah, Les is out every single game.
It's honestly, I see them on the telly and I'm like, my God, I wish I had that kind of money because they must travel everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Not gonna like that's what Newcastle kind of brings though. They're so passionate about the support. Like I think, especially in England, like without making it depressing, like we'll not make it depressing, but there's so much goes on outside of like in the regular world, what isn't like what people need in their lives. That when you can tune into things like basketball and football, it's so nice that like, especially I say at the end of the games, the way you interact with fans. It's like an escapism for them, isn't it? Like how close the players and fans can come together and bond over essentially like a ball. Like that's a ball in the court. Like it's amazing how people can get such a good like positive vibe from it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what they say. Sports bring everybody together. So, you know, just I love it. Like I honestly love it.
Well, we'll take it back to like how good you done for the year for Newcastle overall. Individually, it was a brilliant year. But if you take a step back and actually look at the league and British basketball as someone who's watched American basketball for you and like played in the college game, if there was one thing you would look at that would maybe enhance the product of British basketball, what would you? And I know it's not your pay grade, but what would you recommend that could make it maybe better?
Make it better. Make it better.
Or maybe there's something you're seeing in it that maybe players would talk about and not necessarily criticise, but
Yeah.
maybe you'd say, you know what is, this isn't a great part of, you don't love this part of the game.
Honestly, I would say they probably need to add more teams because playing the same. So yeah, there's 10 teams I believe, and we play each team like 4 times. I think it gets repetitive. So maybe
Yeah.
adding a couple more teams, and I think that would make it more competitive. I would say, and they'll hate me when I say this, but we got to do something with the refs. Some of those refs,
Oh,
we got to do
mate,
something. We got to do
I
something
bet
with
as
the
a
refs.
player it drives you nuts. I'm one of these people that especially likes the best I've played Sunday League football. And
Yeah,
by the end of it, I stopped complaining about refs. I was like, I wouldn't like that job. But then I watched
yeah,
them, and this is a professional league, and I'm like, I would love to
yeah.
know what them players are saying on that court right now because this is not good
Hey,
to watch. Like,
hey, man. So
well, no, we'll
I think,
flag it, we'll bring it up. So, there's one thing I do want to move on to, and we're going to talk about your teammates a little bit. So, we'll finish with the questions. You can relax. This is done. And we're going to talk
all
about your
right.
teammates a little bit. And you would never have watched it because you're American, but there used to be this show called Soccer EM. And what they would do was something called teammates. So what we're going to do is go through a couple of, not questions, but who you would say the best dressed, etc. is. And I want you to rate your teammates. So for you, who was the best dressed teammate in the Newcastle Eagles dressing room?
Josh Ward-Hibbert.
Josh Ward-Hibbert.
Yeah,
What
for
about
sure.
the worst dressed?
The worst dress? uh, I'll say Honestly, I feel like I don't
Go
know.
on, you're
I
in
don't know.
Poland. They're not going to hurt you. Go on, tell us.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think. I'm really trying to think. The worst dress. Deshaun Allen Aikens. He the worst dress. Yeah,
Really? What
yeah,
would he
yeah.
wear? What is the specific clothing? What would he come out with?
Whatever.
What?
He'll wear whatever.
So I'm guessing in the dressing room it was like a big thing. Music, maybe. Who had the best taste in music?
Severe Candy. He was the DJ.
Or was he? Was there anybody? Did you not take turns? Did you not? Is it kind of just one DJ?
Nah, we let him do it. He changed up the flow. Like we'll have Caribbean music, we'll have rap, we'll have everything. So he was the DJ for sure.
So in that question, what is your kind of music then?
My kind,
What
I
kind do
listen
you
to
like?
everything. I listen to everything. Like, I'm a hip hop guy. I definitely like my Caribbean, or I guess reggae music, you could say. Yeah, but I listen to everything. If it's good, if you got a good beat and you saying something of substance, or you know, I like it.
Well, this one might be a bit harder for you then, because you said you've got one DJ. Who had the worst taste in music, or is that one you can't really answer?
Oh, the worst taste in music. I might have to say Deshaun Allen Aikens got the worst taste in music. Yeah,
I hope he doesn't listen
yeah.
to this because he's getting burned here, isn't he? He's in your burn book.
He gonna get on me. I just talked to him like 2 days ago.
So was he a good friend of yours then, obviously, when
Yeah,
you've been
yeah,
playing at the Eagles? Yeah.
yeah.
So the next question is, who was the biggest influence on you? Maybe not, that's probably a difficult one to say because you might not have been influenced, but maybe your closest friend on the Eagles who you like bonded with the most?
My closest probably would be, this is before he left, probably would be Jordan Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably be the closest. But really, all my teammates, like, we're all good. Like, I still talk to all them guys. So
Yeah, it seemed like a very close-knitted group, to be fair. You seem to, I mean, you've got to be if you're going that far in competitions, right? I guess team chemistry is quite a big thing.
for sure, yeah.
So then the last one, who was the class clown? Who was the prankster of the dressing room?
The prankster, the prankster. I'll probably have to say Deshaun, because you just never know. Like he's the wild card. He's the
I don't
wild
think he would
card
be
on the
that big
team.
of a personality, but it sounds like he's one
Nah,
to watch.
yeah, he's the wild card on the team. So yeah.
Have you got any examples for the Newcastle Eagle fans of what wild card stuff he does? Or is that
Nah,
too far?
I just keep that within the.
That's fair. I totally appreciate that, Mike. Well, mate, that is everything. I've really enjoyed our chat. Like I say, I totally wasn't expecting you to say yes. So it was a really nice surprise for you to join this podcast, and I hope Newcastle Eagles fans will be absolutely buzzing to hear what you've had to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a parting message for them, or?
I always got love for Newcastle. I love the fans, love the team. I'll definitely be tuned in this season. Hopefully, I get a chance to come in and watch a game. And like I said, like Newcastle, y'all really helped change my life, and I'm very grateful and thankful for you guys. So yeah, that's my parting message.
I've got to say, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. You've been one of in a few years for me, you've been one of me, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the podcast, but you were one of my favourite players to watch, the way you played the game, the intensity, going coast to coast. Some of the shots you were making, there'd be the 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and I don't even know if you knew what you were doing, but you'd hit shots from 30 feet, and it was just, honestly, mate, it was incredible. So I wish you all the best this season in Poland, and thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Well, and thank you for everyone listening. I hope you definitely tune into this one, because I think Mike himself has been absolutely brilliant today. So thank you very much. And if you want more guests like Mike, not as good as Mike, don't worry, I'll not tell anyone that. Please like, share, subscribe the show, and let people know what we're doing here. So thank you again, Mike, and I will see everybody else next time.
I appreciate you.